Slope. Finding slope on a graph. What is it? The measure of steepness of a line. Y helps you figure out how something is constantly changing. Interesting fact. The large front teeth of the beaver never stop growing. The beaver's constant gnawing on wood helps to keep their teeth from growing too long. Here are the 4 examples we're going to be talking about in today's video. Let's take a closer look at example 1. Let's read the steps. Step 1, pick 2 points on the line. Step 2, count from one to the other. Let's read the question. What is the slope of the line? And before that, let's talk about what slope is. Slope is the change in y over the change in x. And we can also say that as delta y over delta x. And that triangle symbol means delta. And we say delta because it's a little bit faster than saying change in. Now, let's do step 1. So we're going to pick 2 points. Okay, so we pick 2 points on the line, and the best way to do this is pick 2 points where where the line intersects with the 2 lines. So you can have whole numbers, and having whole numbers is easier to find the slope than decimals or fractions. So now we have our 2 points. Now we can go ahead and start counting. So we're going to start counting on the bottom left one and count up until we're horizontal with the other points. So we went up 2 spaces, so the delta y, or change in y, is 2. Now we're going to go ahead and count spaces to the point. So in this case, we went to the right, so we're going to have a positive number, and we went 3 spaces, and so the change in x, or delta x, is equal to 3. And now we can just write down the numbers, 2 over 3, and that is our slope. Now you may be wondering what happens if we go the other way. Let's check it out and see what happens. So this time we're going to go ahead and start from the top right, and we count down 2 spaces, and since we're counting down, it is -2 is the change in y. Now we're going to go ahead and count to the other point, and now we have 3 spaces to the left, so that's a -3. So we have a delta y over delta x, which is equal to -2 over -3, and that's what we can write down. And since both numbers are negative and we're dividing, we can go ahead and cancel those 2 negatives, and we're left with 2/3 as our answer as well. So we did it 2 different ways, got the same answer, so we know we're correct. So let's take a look at example 2. As some of you may have noticed, it is the same line, but this time we're going to see what happens if we pick 2 points further apart. So now we're going to go ahead and pick 2 points where the line intersects with the 2 lines. And now we're going to go ahead and start counting. So this time we go up 4 spaces, so our number is positive. Now we're going to go to the right 6 spaces, so our number is positive 6. And now we have that delta y is 4 and delta x is equal to 6. So we can go ahead and write down just the numbers 4 over 6. And since 4 and 6 are both even, we can go ahead and divide each number by 2, and we get 2 over 3. And that is our answer. Now let's go ahead and verify and check going the other way and see if we did it correctly. So this time we're going to go down 4 spaces, and that's going to give us delta y is equal to -4. And now we're going to go to the left 6 spaces, so our delta x is equal to -6. And so we can just write down the numbers of -4 over -6. Once again, since we are dividing by two negative numbers, then therefore we can go ahead and just cancel and reduce at the same time, and we get 2/3 as our answer. Now let's take a look at example 3. What is the slope of the line? So this time our line is a little bit different, and so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and pick 2 points on the line. Now we're going to go ahead and count down 4 spaces, so our answer is going to be negative, so our delta y is -4. We're going to go ahead and count to the right, and we went 3 spaces, so our number is positive. So now we have delta y is equal to -4, delta x is equal to 3, so we can write that as -4 over 3, and that is our answer. Now let's take a look at what happens if we count the other way. So this time we're going to go up 4 spaces. Since we went up, it's +4. And now we're going to go ahead and count to the left 3 spaces, and so our delta x is equal to -3. So now we're going to go ahead and rewrite it with just the numbers, and we have -4 over 3. since the negative number can be on the bottom, top, or right next to it. So we can go ahead and say we have the same answer. So we did it correctly. Now let's take a look at the last example. In this case, what is the slope of the line? Some of you may have noticed it's the same line, but this time we're going to go further apart just to see what happens. So now in this case, we're going to go down 8 spaces. So that means our number is negative. So we have a delta y is equal to negative 8. And now we're going to go to the right. So our number is positive. And so since we went 6 spaces, it is a delta as x is equal to 6. Now we can go ahead and write down the numbers of negative 8 over 6. And we can go ahead and reduce that to negative 4 over 3. And that is our answer. So now let's count it the other way. So we're going to go up 8 spaces. Since we went up 8, our number is going to be positive. And so our change in y, or delta y, is equal to 8. And now we're going to go to the left 6 spaces, so our number is negative. So our change in x, or delta x, is equal to negative 6. So we write down just the numbers 8 divided by negative 6. And we can simplify to negative 4/3. And that is our answer. Now it is your turn. So what is the slope of this line? So I'm going to give you a few seconds to go ahead and to pause the video so you can answer this question. 3, 2, and 1. If you got the answer correct, well done. If not, there's always tomorrow.